Hello everybody, it's so good to be back again with another video. So in this video, I'm going to be talking to those who are interested in doing a postdoc after their PhD. If you are interested in taking up a postdoctoral research position after your PhD, then this video is for you. I think if you ask me when is the right time to start thinking about a postdoc, I would say it is towards the end of your PhD, perhaps in the final year of your PhD. Start thinking about doing a postdoc. Start thinking about it. That is the right time to decide if really a postdoc is for you or not. Or perhaps while you're waiting for the external examination of your PhD thesis, you're waiting, and that window that you have, that is the period you should really think about it critically and ask yourself, is this what I want? If it is what you want, then I would suggest that you start reaching out to potential mentors, potential hosts in your field. The earlier the better, because time is of the essence here. Usually a key requirement for you to take up a postdoc position is that your PhD should be within 5 years, meaning that if you delay further, let's say 1 year after your PhD, you're still not sure whether you want to do a postdoc or not, and then before you know 2 years, that is when you now start saying, okay, let me start sending cold emails. You realize that before long, before you wake up, before you know what is happening, it is 2 years, 3 years after. Of course, you can still get a postdoc host, but then it's going to affect you in the long run, assuming there's a room for what? For renewal. If your postdoc host still wants to continue working with you, or there are still funds for you to continue on that project, then the policy of the university takes effect and you may be affected. So it means that if you started doing your postdoc in your year 3 post PhD, you only have 2 years, except in exceptional cases. So you must take that into consideration, that your PhD must be within 5 years before you can be taken as a postdoctoral research fellow. And then there's also the age factor. Some university may consider below 40, and some university may consider above 40, some even extend it up to 45, some up to 50. But then that 5 year post PhD bracket is non-negotiable. So it depends on the institution. Some extend it up to 45 years. For some, it is strictly after 40 years, nothing more, no more. So you must just look at your age and then look at when you finished your PhD. So if you know that age is still on your side, then start applying early. So the age factor is also there. So you must put that into consideration when you're making your decision, so that you are not also affected based on your age. So, but I think the main, some university can extend the age beyond 40, right? So it depends on the institution and what is applicable to them. But then the 5 year post PhD criteria is almost like it's a no-go area. You must meet that criteria. So if you start and there is an option for renewal, you notice that you have taken so long before you started the process, it may no longer favor you. Do you understand? So I would say, like I started from the beginning, at the right time to start thinking about taking up a postdoctoral research fellowship position is in the final year of your PhD, or towards the period you are awaiting feedback on the external examination of your PhD thesis. Of course, some funding, you can even start applying for certain funding at during that period. Some funding application allow you towards to submit for funding while you're waiting, for your PhD thesis to be examined. So you just provide evidence that you have established contact with a postdoc host, and also you're waiting for your PhD to be examined. Do you understand? For the feedback to return, because they understand that these things take time from when you submit for the funding to when the award letter is released or is granted, is given. There might be some months already gone. The same thing also with establishing contact with a postdoc host. That you started cold emailing today doesn't mean that you're going to get a feedback tomorrow. Sometimes it may take you more than 6 months. It may even take you up to a year or even more to establish contact with a potential host. So it differs from university to university, from discipline to discipline, and from country to country. That is why you need to start early, so that by the time you have gotten someone say yes to you and the funds are there, you know that you still have time on your side, and also the time it takes, from when your host says yes to you to when you finally get the letter. It also takes time, right? There's also a bit of waiting involved. So put all of that into consideration when to make the decision on whether you want to do a postdoc or not, and then your age, and when to start cold emailing, so that you still have time by the time you get feedback from a potential host to when you get the letter. And sometimes you're required to evaluate your qualification, and then you apply for visa and all that is involved in the traveling and coming over and settling down. So it's quite a lot that is involved. That is why you have to start early enough, so that by the time you have gotten a host, you know that you still have some time left. See, some people go for 1 year, maybe because there's no other option, but that is also good. But I would say the straight 2 year or 3 year options are usually straight 2 year or 3 year option is usually a good and better than the 1 year. But if the 1 year is the only available position at that point in time, fine. Make up your mind early, look at all the eligibility criteria that you have to meet, and then begin to take the step early enough. So I wish you all the best. If you have any questions, please drop in the comment section. If you have any comments, also any contribution, I would truly appreciate it. Thank you for listening. See you in my next video.